Page 10. On the 8th of May 1944, the entire company left Shagford for Greenoffen, Devonshire, England. This area was located approximately 1½ miles south of Tavistock, on the road to Yelverton. Map coordinates X 925,937. Authority for this movement was a verbal order from Commanding Officer, Headquarters 19 District, Southern Base Section, SOS, ETOUSA. Little work was done in this location. Training programs and disposition of new equipment took place most of the time. Training was held Thursday, Friday, and Saturday of each week in review of previous basic training. Chemical warfare, camouflage, booby traps, equipment, map reading, mines, marksmanship, physical training and rigging received special attention. Personnel revisions were as follows. A. On 11 May, 1944, 1 enlisted man transferred out, total 181 enlisted men. On 16 May, 1944, 12 enlisted men transferred in, total 193 enlisted men. On 23 May, 1944, 1 enlisted man transferred in, total 194 enlisted men. B. On 11 May, 1944, 5 enlisted men transferred to DS at 3601st Quartermaster Truck Company. APO 694 on 19 May, 1944, 7 enlisted men transferred to DS at Mess School, G75. APO 522 also on the 19th of May 1944, 6 enlisted men were transferred to DS for 3½ months of work at the ports of embarkation. There they repaired field stoves for units on their way to France. The PX continued to be operated by the company. Religious services were held in Yelverton for all creeds. After we got our 10-ton wreckers and 16-ton trailers, we began to bring in the equipment we were working on previously, and were forced to leave in Shagford. Some work was done on this equipment, but it was erratic. A good portion of our time we spent in preparing our shop trucks for the expected trip to France. Gas can racks were built on the trucks by the company welders in order to carry the required amount of gasoline. These racks accommodated 15 cans for wreckers, 10 cans for the 2½ ton trucks, 5 cans for the 3/4 ton trucks, and 2 cans for 1/4 ton trucks. About the 15th of May, fire started by sparks from welding being done under the 1st platoon camouflage net, destroyed a large portion of the net, the welding shop canvas, and burned holes in several other canvas covers. Trucks themselves were not damaged. All damaged canvas was replaced. On the 28th of May 1944, the entire company left Greenoffen for Camp Breamore, 1 mile west of Kennington, Somerset, England. Map coordinates T684,607. At this location, final preparations were made for crossing the channel. Spare parts were catalogued and put in chest. This was a tremendous task, for we had on our possession about 30 tons of spare parts, and intended to bring the entire supply to France with us. Vehicles were closed and waterproofing began on 7th June. The drivers and assistant drivers did the waterproofing through the first phase, except any work which would hinder long-distance travel. The work, when completed, was inspected by the company officers.
The Allies' planning, activities and objectives for May 1944. 2 May, the date for D-Day is delayed from 31 May. 2 periods in the following month are identified as suitable, based on the tides and the amount of moonlight, 5-7 June and 18-20 June. Later in May, 5 June is chosen as the target date for the D-Day landings. 2 May, Exercise Fabius begins at several sites along the coast of southern England. The exercises last until 8 May. Fabius consisted of 6 exercises carried out under the direction of 21 Army Group. Fabius 1 was the rehearsal for Force O, the 1st Division units that were to assault Omaha Beach. Approximately 25,000 troops participated in Fabius I, including 3 regimental combat teams and various attached service troops. Fabius II, III, IV, and V were British rehearsals carried out at the same time. Fabius VI was a marshalling exercise for Follow-up Force B, the 29th Division, and the British forces in the build-up. It ran from 3 April to 7 May, with a simulated D-Day on 3 May. Every effort was made to deploy regimental combat teams from the 1st and 29th Divisions plus 2 Ranger and 2 Tank battalions supported by 3 Engineer combat battalions on the 2nd Tide on D-Day and 300 tons of supply including treadway bridging, Summerfeld track, core matting, and other material for building and improving beach roads. A number of problems showed up in beach operations, but since D-Day was only a month away, no drastic revisions could be undertaken. The most important result of the exercise was a change in the landing schedules. Elements of the Military Police Company, the brigade headquarters, and the Signal Company were to land considerably earlier than originally planned. After Fabius was over, most of the units that had participated went directly to their marshalling areas. 15 May, the final briefing for Allied senior officers takes place at St. Paul's School, London. It is attended by King George VI and Prime Minister Winston Churchill. By now, the troops that will land in Normandy on D-Day and immediately afterwards are in camps all along the south coast of England. Before the end of May, the troops are sealed in the camps to guard the secret that the landings are imminent. Vehicles and other equipment are waterproofed to ensure that they can wade through deep water when landing on the beaches. In the last days of May, the troops are briefed on their tasks for D-Day. The majority still do not know exactly where the landings will take place. However, 31 May, the first troops begin to load onto the ships and landing craft that will take them to Normandy. The size of the landing force means that the embarkation process is spread over 5 days. This concludes the Allies' planning, activities and objectives of the month of May.